uh, they're saying is a portal, is a gate of the gods in Peru. In 1996, it was discovered by Jose Luis Delgado while he was trying to learn the layout of the area for a job he had recently taken as a tour guide. The Gate of the Gods at Marca in Peru is said by native tribes to have once acted as a gateway to the land of the gods. He even claims that he had dreams of the doorway for years before he had accidentally found it. In his dream, he stated that the pathway leading to the door was made of pink marble and witnessed a smaller door that was open with a brilliant blue light coming from what looked like a shimmering tunnel. The doorway is actually two doorways, almost a T shape. The larger doorway measures 7 meters wide, while the smaller one stands 2 meters high at 6.5 feet. In the middle of the base, legend states that the large door is for the gods themselves, the smaller doors for mortals to pass through. And some heroic mortals did, becoming mortals themselves to live among the gods. Yes, I have. That is, that was kind of creepy, actually, Michelle. She asked, have you heard about those wolfman-looking things spotted in Maine? Yes. Those are kind of creepy sounding, actually. I was like, what the? Yeah. What did you think of that, Lori? I thought that was kind of creepy. So one gateway they believe is in Marca, Peru. Ancient times, where some mortals passing through the door, the smaller doorway. And a legend of a mortal passing through the doorway appears to lend a little credibility to the alleged dream. The story goes, I should say, that when Spanish explorers arrived in Peru, this is in the 16th century, looting the Inca riches, and an Incan priest fled his temple with a valuable golden disc. It was called the Key of the Gods of the Seven Rays. He found the doorway and saw it was guarded by the priests. He presented to them the golden disc, and following a ritual performed by the priests, the smaller doorway opened. Behind it was a tunnel that shone with great blue light, and he passed into the doorway, left the disc with the shaman priest, and vanished from earth to the land of the gods. Interestingly, investigators did discover a small round indentation in the rock on the right column of the smaller doorway. Examinations led them to believe that a disc-shaped object to be inserted into the indentation would be held in place, which would be the disc. Yeah, exactly. Ancient Aliens, yes. That's an interesting show, isn't it? That's a great show. I love it. But that's in Marca, Peru. And why, where did their gods come from? And ancient Egyptians for one, Ra, the sun god, and all the rest. I mean, but you've seen that one, so there you go. And another place is Abu Ghraib, Egypt, place of the gods. Okay, the Abu Sir pyramids has claimed to be one of the oldest sites on the planet. Within Abu Ghraib lies an ancient platform made of alabaster. It's basically Egyptian crystal. As long as it goes, Michelle. I'm typing as I can't talk and type at the same time. I'll type what I'm talking. Spell. Yeah, as long as it does. There's no time limit. Don't work too hard. Okay, Michelle. Okay, well, this discussion will be going on. So, Yeah, so I was talking about the Abu Ghraib, the ancient in Egypt, the place of the gods. There lies an ancient platform made of alabaster, which is called Egyptian crystal, and is said to be in tune with the vibration of the earth. And it can open senses in order for a person to communicate and be one with the higher sacred energies of the universe. Essentially, a stargate, and the sacred energies were the gods. Later, hon. Later, Gator. Okay. The legends of their communications and way of travel between their world and ours almost mirrors the legends of the Cherokee Native Americans, okay? Because the Cherokee tell of how thought beings who are formless would travel on a wave of sound from their home star system to Earth. As the legends of Abu Ghraib being a stargate, there are signs of what some would perceive to be advanced technology having been used to create the site. An example is the perfectly precise circular markings that have been drilled into the alabaster. So that site is in Egypt, the place of the gods. Again, this goes back. This isn't just new. The talk about other universes and dimensions and portals have gone on for eons, apparently. So this isn't something new. And this hits your neighborhood, Lori. The ancient stone arrangement in Lake Michigan. There is believed to be a portal there. Do you know about this, Lori? It's called the ancient stone arrangement in Lake Michigan. In 2007, while searching for the remains of shipwrecks, scientists discovered a stone structure 40 feet below the surface of Lake Michigan. Thought to be 9,000 years old, it has been dubbed Michigan's equivalent of Stonehenge. And this discovery was made by a professor of underwater archaeology of Northwestern Michigan University, Mark Holley. One thing of particular interest was a carving on one of the stones of Mastodon, which is believed to have become extinct 10,000 years ago, which gives an indication of the structure's age. The location of the site has been kept secret for now. Well, naturally, of course. This is part of an agreement with the local Native American tribes who wish to keep visitors and stuff to a minimum. Okay. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? So, do you know about this, Lori? This is your neighborhood. A lot of mainstream scientists are skeptical about the age of the site. It has there's carvings of a mastodon in there. Duh! How could you, what are you disputing, is what I want to know. But anyway, and if it has any relevance, many believe that is the remains of a stargate or wormhole. The site has also claimed several bizarre disappearances and has dubbed the name the Michigan Triangle. Kind of the little sister or brother of the Bermuda Triangle, apparently. Now again, in 1891, a schooner named the Thomas Hume vanished into thin air along with all 7 of its crew while sailing on the lake in 1921. 11 people who were aboard the Rosabelle disappeared without a trace, but their boat was found floating lifelessly in the water in 1937. While on board the O.M. McFarland, as it made its way along Lake Michigan, Captain Donner retired to his quarters to get some much-needed rest. 3 hours later, the second mate went to wake him up, found the door locked from the inside, no response from the captain. They eventually broke the door down. The captain's quarters were empty. All the windows were locked shut. He simply vanished. So that area has some interesting stories, and I quotation stories to it. Rosabelle, the Thomas Hume in 1891, 1921, 1937. Like I said, this goes way, way back. So it's called the Michigan Triangle. So you have heard of it, Laura. I figured you would. So, interesting. So it is believed that is a porthole. Little Stonehenge. Okay. Excuse me. And of course, now we talk about the original Stonehenge. Of course, it is. People have believed this to be a portal for years, and it was one of the most well-known structures on the planet. It is the ancient rock formation known as Stonehenge, also one of the most contested and debated sites in history, both as to when it was built and to what its true purpose is. Of course, mainstream, your conventional historians claim the famous arrangement was built about 5,000 years ago, partly from bluestones that were quarried. To some, though, this notion is absurd. What do you think about Stonehenge, guys? A geologist, Brian John, states that there have been no evidence, and no evidence that the alleged quarry was even existed. So there you go. Excuse me. It is said that when the first settlements were built, 5,000 years ago, Stonehenge was already there and fully built. The ancient site is said to be a site where 14 ley lines converge, and some feel along with other similar ancient sites. This essentially makes it an energy porthole or stargate. Yes, ley lines. They are everywhere. And we'll discuss ley lines in a bit. I think you have to have the ley lines, a abundant amount. This has where 14 ley lines converge to make that porthole. And I think the ley lines have to be present for that. I really do. At least one incident in recent history support this theory. In August 1971, a group of hippies apparently disappeared at Stonehenge while trying to tap into the vibrations of the site. At around 2 a.m., without any warning, lightning bolts suddenly struck and a severe storm unleashed into the area. And according to the story, a policeman who happened to be on duty in the area recalls seeing a blue light coming from the stones. A local farmer stated he also saw this. Screams could be heard, but by the time the policeman had made his way to the site, all that remained was the odd tent peg from the tents and the damp remains of a campfire. Oh, you think that's just Mother Nature? I don't think so. That's like the pyramids. If I believed some of the stories along those lines, that they believe, men carved those and physically, some contraptions and took them up, to build the pyramids. Are you kidding me? They'd still be working on it. You know how many men that would take? I don't believe there were that many there. Really think about that. The size and weight of those stones. And to be carved so precisely. No, and I don't believe Stonehenge is man-made either. I really don't. I don't believe Stonehenge is man-made. I believe that, with the 14 ley lines there that converge, that they create the portal there. Okay. What do you think? I do. That's what I think, but that's me. So Stonehenge is I believe to be. I think it's a portal. Okay. How about the ancient Sumerian Stargate at the Euphrates River? Okay. There's a famous Sumerian seal that shows a Sumerian god appearing from a porthole of his world into ours. And it's really interesting. And the god appears to be on a staircase that was moving away from the person viewing the seal. There are strange shimmering columns of water on either side. Another Sumerian artifact that claims to show evidence of Stargate is that of Ninurta. Ninurta not only appears to be wearing a modern-day wristwatch, but is also using his finger to press what to be a button on the wall of the gateway he is standing in. There have been several books on the ancient Sumerian gods and kings and their alleged use of stargates in ancient times. One of the main conclusions is that there is a stargate in the Euphrates River and has been buried and lost under the ruins of the Mesopotamian city for thousands.